Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I wanted to have a little sit-down conversation with y'all today about MFF. Not as crazy or dramatic as MFF is dying, but more like I'm getting the vibe that this update is not well received by the players for multiple reasons, but it's still surprising to me given the fact that it's an MCU update. And if you look at the numbers, they support this idea that people are just not that interested in the update itself. I mean, the patch note video didn't even crack 30k views, which is unusual for me, and most of the videos that are not Namor focused don't even crack 20,000 views, which again is also unusual for me. And actually the Vulture video no, why? The Vulture video did better than the Riri Williams video and the M'Baku video, which is quite odd. So what's going on? Are people just not happy with the update? Are they not happy with the nerfs to Hulk and then the Rage reforging fiasco? Are they just not interested in the update because it's called a Black Panther update, but there's no Black Panther, right? There's no Black Panther for anyone else. There's no upgrade for Black Panther himself, right? The update maybe doesn't feel authentic to players because it's, you know, robo suits and Atlanteans, not Panther gods, right? I don't know. I don't actually have the answer, but it's very clear to me that people are not very engaged with the newest update. And yeah, I don't know if this is a new thing or if this is a trend that's going to continue for MFF. If the trend continues for MFF in 6 months, well, maybe not in exactly 6 months because that's the anniversary, but in like 8 months, it's going to be it's going to be kind of grim, you know? So I wanted to have this conversation with you guys now just to find out, and hit me up down below in the comments, as I always say, what really is turning you off from this update. Maybe it's more people are busier than before. I don't know. That was really the theme for the beginning of the year, where it seemed like people were, you know, obviously the pandemic was ending. People were going back to their jobs, not working from home anymore. They don't have as much time and as much money because they got to spend more on groceries, more on rent and stuff like that. But then the numbers started to pick up again, but now they're right back down to where they were, I think, at the beginning of the year, which is again surprising to me, especially considering it's an MCU update. Now there may be a part 2 for the MCU update. There may be, you know, Black Panther coming soon, whatever, tier 4, data mine, I don't know. But I would really just like to hear from all of you, because I think it's weird. I think the game is in a good place, despite a few missteps with Hulk and things like that. I think overall the game is in a good place. Should we have more ways to farm tier 4 materials? Yes, absolutely. Could PvP be better and more balanced and more interesting and have more diversity? Yeah, it could. There's a lot of shoulds, or there's a lot of coulds. There's a few shoulds, but there aren't any glaring massive problems with the game now like there have been in previous years, right? So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit here to figure out what it is that's making people just completely disinterested in this update. But rather than focusing on that and just throwing my dart to the board and guessing why y'all are dissatisfied, obviously I'm going to read the comments, but really what I think the devs need to do, or what I would do if I were the devs, is just focus on the existing content and update the rewards. That's what I think at the end of the day, what's going to bring back the most players is updating the rewards so players feel like they're going to get more out of their time invested in the game. Because I think currently players are not getting enough of an investment return on their time unless they're playing World Boss or GBR. And GBR can be very frustrating for players who have a poor connection or who just don't know how to matchmake. They don't know how to find strong players. If they're not a strong player, they don't know how to coordinate with their alliance. They basically have shitty communication skills, whatever you want to call it. They're lazy, whatnot. They don't have enough time. I don't know. I'm not saying it's any one of those things. It's all of those things in different degrees and different percentages. But essentially, right, we have a situation now where players feel like they're not really getting much on their return unless they're playing this game mode right here. And we've talked about this before, but it's sort of, you know, it comes full circle. So I think what the devs would need to do, and what I would do if I were the devs, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I would do a massive rework to Shadowland. This game mode needs to reflect the rewards that it's asking the players to give it in return. That's a weird way of saying If you expect us to use our whole roster in this game mode, which is the point of the game mode, then the game mode should drop rewards that will let us build our whole roster. And currently, the game mode only drops tier 2 materials. It drops some tier 3 materials for your first time, like CCF, but that's just a first time clear. That's not an ongoing thing. The ongoing rewards are just to build characters up to tier 2, up to level 60 or level 70, and then it's done. No level 80, no tier 4, right? Not even really tier 3 or transcended, you know? So this game mode needs a massive overhaul of reworks, but it also needs new stages. You know, they've been using the same stages for 6 years now. And that's just wild. You know, that's just wild to me. They should absolutely update these stages. They could just update them with new uniforms. Like, why doesn't Captain America have his Phoenix Force uniform? Why doesn't Iron Man have his Endgame uniform or whatever? It doesn't even have to be the newest one. If Iron Man had his Endgame uniform, this stage would be so much more entertaining because you fight Endgame Iron Man and he snaps, right? Like, just bring it up to speed with what we know, because there's such a disconnect where it's like you're going back in time when you play Shadowland because you're playing these goofy characters that you haven't seen in years because you've been equipping uniforms for them for the past 6 years. So I would start with a massive top to bottom rework of Shadowland, new stages, get rid of some of the old stages, and then buff the rewards massively. That would be my first step. And then from there, you know, it's really up to you, but I would probably look at adding an extra chapter of story mode because this is a very popular game mode. It informs a lot of player decisions as far as investments go, and it rewards players for having a large roster, which is important. And then just in the same vein, I would add an extra, it literally says coming soon. I would add an extra chapter of dispatch because, again, the game modes are feeling disconnected from the game, right? You're telling the players, build tier 4s, build tier 4s. You're releasing more tier 4s than you are tier 3s. So there's this massive disconnect between what you're telling players to do and the options you're giving players, right? If you're telling players to get tier 4s, you're telling players ignore all the other game modes and just focus on World Boss Legend and GBR Dormammu. That's it. Ignore all the other content because that's not going to help you get tier 4s. So what are the players doing? They're playing less and they're only playing these game modes. That's kind of a dumb strategy. So I know it's only been, or in another way, it's already been 6 months. Believe it or not, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's been 6 months since tier 4s were introduced. It's high time that they give us tier 4 drops in other game modes, right? But more than that, it's like, what about artifacts? Artifacts are over a year old. Yeah, artifacts are over 1 year old. Why do we only get artifacts in like 2 game modes? No one plays Timeline Survival. So don't give me this crap. That's Dimension Rifts. Nobody plays Timeline Survival, right? Nobody plays Timeline Survival. People are playing ABX and ABL, which is great. That's cool. That's one game mode. And then nobody actually plays Dimension Rifts. You just auto-play it. So there's nowhere else to get artifacts, but they're a year old. It's the same story. You guys got to stop bottlenecking this shit and put it in other game modes. Why doesn't Shadowland drop artifacts? I don't know. It should. It makes no sense. Why doesn't the new legendary battle give us Celestial Essence? There's this disconnect. It's like, hey guys, these are the resources you need. Okay, let's get these. How do we get these resources? Oh, you can't get these resources. They're only available in like 2 game modes. Oh, so why do you guys have like 20 game modes then? What the hell is all this crap? What is this? What is this crap? This shit hasn't updated. This is crazy. Why doesn't this have update the rewards, for crying out loud? You know, nobody needs this crap anymore. We've seen what you give new players. We've seen the new player login. You're giving them materials. You're giving them resources that completely obliterate the need for Norn stones, right? So update the freaking rewards, man. That's all. Update the rewards and update a couple of the pieces of content, and I think a bunch of players come back. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just the new max. Maybe this is just the new max expectation for players. I don't know. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. I'll see you guys on Twitch for Ragnarok. Take care.